Well, good morning and happy reveal day, everybody, for the Nintendo Switch 2, which I was leaning towards that name. It's still a bland name to me, but hey, that's what they went with, and they officially revealed it. And good morning, Dark Void. Um, so I'm going to go over the short trailer. I'm not going to sit there and take a long time. This is going to be a quick stream. I'm not planning on being on this one forever. But there is one thing I want to go ahead and quickly play so that everybody can see this real quick, because without having extra info and without having inside sources, without having people drop information on me on a regular basis, this is what I did and guessed. All right, folks, no Nintendo Switch successor announcement in November. Looks like I was wrong. Mind you, this is November 30th. I have to eat that crow. See, there's something I can do that games journalists seem to not be able to do because they need your clicks in order to be able to pay the bills. So they're not going to necessarily admit where they were wrong. It would probably do well for them in the long run if they did, but they won't. But yeah, I was wrong. So now my expected date for reveal is going to be mid-January. Probably somewhere around the 10th to the 15th. That's going to be... That was it. That's the petty side of me wanting to put that out there. I made that guess off the top of my head, just realizing that there was nothing that was going to happen in December. I knew that much. I knew there was nothing that was going to happen in December once November was over. But I put that guess out there, and I'm within range of the date where it takes tons of people. It takes other people to have inside sources and constantly be getting information from behind the scenes to come to the same conclusion. Just to put that out there. Good morning, Brownie. Now, I'm going to jump over to the actual first look trailer, which this thing blew up in a matter of seconds. But we're going to go ahead. I just happened to be looking to open up YouTube and look at it, and it was right there in front of my face. I was like, oh, No, you can't necessarily believe leakers just because people say they leaked information, because honestly, it's not even necessarily a big thing. My only problem is when people keep doing it and you are trying, even if you mute words, you're trying to actively avoid information. And then there are people that don't use those specific words and you still get that information. So it's annoying, but we're going to go ahead and just go over this real quick. Shedding of the shell. Power and volume are on the opposite side. The chargers on the top, charging ports on top. The stand on the back. And the game slot is still the same. The main thing I looked at was the change in the Joy-Con. Was where people just said it was just going to magnetically slide in. That didn't make any daggone sense to me. But the way they have that lock set up, that makes more sense. I knew it wasn't going to just be something where you just attach it at the sides and it just links on magnetically. And it does look like you will be able to use it as a mouse. You might be able to use both Joy-Cons that way from how it looks. But yeah, I was like, there's no way they're just going to have this thing sit on a magnet on the side. It didn't make any sense at all whatsoever. But Nintendo Switch 2. They did it to make sure it doesn't look exactly like the old.
Well, being able to use it as a mouse, but some people already discredit that idea. If you can use it as a mouse, it's like having your mouse in one hand and you take one of the Joy-Cons. I can go ahead and close this out. I can stop sharing that. We're good. We're good on that. I don't need to share that anymore. But oh yeah, I'd like to finish on it. But that's like being able to play your game with one hand on this and then your other hand on your mouse. So it's essentially giving you PC like function without having to deal with having the PC quirks of the controller, which is cool. I'm okay with that concept. I play on console and PC anyway, so it's no big deal to me. I can adjust to both play styles. Now, people discounting that idea automatically, I don't know why y'all would discount that, because it just means you have more ways to play games. But again, that also opens up the library, potentially opens up the library to a lot of different types of games. I don't know why people have an issue with that. It was like every time there's a chance to have more options, people say they want more options, but they seem to be upset at the idea of more options. I don't get it. And Doc Trey is Doc Trey. He does a lot of digging and stuff on his own. I don't do all that digging, and somehow I still end up being close to the correct information half the time. Ugh. Yeah, if that play style is implemented, that definitely means there will be more games with touchscreen functionality. And if there are more games with touchscreen functionality, I'm still wondering about how that dock functions, because they haven't really shown much of what it does. There's the assumption that it's just going to operate like the current dock. And I'm still of the mindset it's going to be different. I'm still of the mindset it's going to be different, because I don't feel like this was a full reveal. This was just enough to get everybody to shut up. That's what this felt like. It was just enough to get everybody shut up. like you just we're tired of hearing you talk about this. So yeah, go ahead. Oh yeah, Best Buy. Look, all the retailers going to jump on trying to put this information out. They were just waiting for Nintendo to say something. It's dead. This reveal trailer to me feels more like, yo, hey, we just want everybody to shut up for a moment. Here, this is the thing that y'all been begging for. You've been begging to see the name. You've been begging to know when you're going to get more information. Here you go. That's what this felt like. Now, whether or not it was planned to be that way, I don't know, because you could look at it from the route that they were trying to go with simplicity, and they didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on the idea because you already have an idea of what the Switch is. And if the Switch 2 is supposed to be just a better version of the Switch in your mind, that's all you need to know. Now, a deeper hardware dive is probably going to happen at some point. A deeper hardware dive is definitely going to be happening at some point. It could even happen within the next couple days. We don't know for sure. All we know is that direct is probably going to just have more information on games. And right now, I know for a fact that all the third parties that are on board with this, they're gearing up to start dropping their trailers with the official logo on their trailers. They are gearing up to do that because they want people to know, hey, we're supporting this. Come get the games here, because of the fact that the Switch was a runaway success. Whether or not you like the console or the specs of the console doesn't make any bit of difference. It was a runaway success. That's all that matters. And third parties look at that. Hey, that's money. That's money that can be in our pockets. Runaway success. I mean, if there is an OLED version, or if that screen is even OLED, because we don't know for sure, we just have rumors to go by. I mean, as long as it looks good, the colors are vibrant, it's not really going to make much of a difference to most people. A lot of people act like these little things make the greatest of difference to them when they really don't in the long run, especially if they're trying to get get hardware out to as many people as possible. And honestly, I'm starting to expect that the OG Switch in all of its models are going to get a price drop. Whether that price drop is 50 per model or 100 per model, I think is going to get a price drop. If not, I'm starting to think that the Switch Lite is probably going to get a price drop down to $99. One way or the other, there are price drops coming in some way, shape, or form, even if they're not official. Like something is changing and people are riled up for the worst things that they could be riled up for. I see the potential chance that we're going to have more games. We're going to have a lot of stuff available to us. There are going to be more options to play games. You'll have more choices with how to develop games for it. We'll see. And just because they gave an idea of they gave us a date for the direct does not mean that the Switch 2 won't come out in that same month. Just to make sure, like, people don't assume that it won't come out in that same month, because that is a possibility. That is a strong possibility, especially with tax time coming up and a lot of people getting their money between March and April. It is a huge chance that console will drop then. So don't assume. I mean, it could come out later, but just don't assume it won't. Don't assume it will, I mean. Because a lot of people just assumed a bunch of stuff was going to happen before, and it never did. Oh, yep. It gets to start with a huge library because of the Switch. And then people that are trading in whatever, there's going to be a bunch of trade-ins of some Switches. Not everybody has. Somebody's going to keep at least one version of the OG Switch, and they're going to trade in one for the Switch 2. There's going to be a lot of trades happening, which means that there's going to be a lot of OG Switches out in the used market, which means more people will probably have them in their houses, or some people will just get extras just to have backups. So they playing the long game here. Oh yeah, I'm keeping mine too. Oh, I'm just talking about the general consumer. When I guess the price drop would be happening, if it happens, probably right after that direct, because I get the feeling we're going to learn the price and stuff of the console, and then right after that direct, we're going to get information on the price drop. That's going to be my guess. I don't know for sure, because obviously I'm not at Nintendo. I can't say I know everything that they're doing. It's just funny to me that sometimes my guesses are within the realm of what they're doing. But if they're going to do that, yeah, I think the price drop would happen after they reveal the price of the Switch 2. Which they have plenty of time to do that. Whenever they do that, I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. Oh, yeah, they definitely didn't show a Switch 2 cartridge. They did not show a Switch 2 cartridge at all. They didn't show what it looked like, what the differences between the Switch 2 cartridges and the Switch cartridges will be. They did none of that. So there's still a lot of stuff that hasn't been shown, and they're supposedly doing that was supposed to be the hardware reveal trailer. Something tells me that wasn't quite. Like I said, I don't think that was quite the full reveal of the hardware. I look at that as, hey, we're tired of hearing you moan and complain. We're tired of hearing you moan and complain about everything. Will there be any? In which way are you talking, TG? Because I don't know for sure. Not Florence. Flare Ice, potentially, but you gotta keep in mind that the partner that Nintendo works with to make the carts, Micronix, I want to say, is it Micronix? Those carts are expensive. They are not just micro SD cards or SD cards like people keep saying they are. They're similar technology, but it is an expensive technology. So that's a thing that people have to consider. And I'll also wonder if they might do something like they used to do with the NES back in the day, but that's a whole different discussion that I would probably prefer to have Shadow Fox on for, because that idea has been stuck in the back of my mind and there's a possibility to do it, but I don't want to say for sure, because we'd have to know the difference between what the Switch 2 carts will be doing and what the Switch ones will or not, versus the Switch ones. I mean, I mean, 64 gigabytes could be the current max. I'm not saying that 128 is off the table. It's just got to consider that again, they're using a specialized memory format for these carts. They're using the specialized memory format for these carts. So that is something to take into consideration. And I'm pretty sure they did. It was rumored that they're going to be using the newer form of the newer form of SD, which puts read speeds for when you're using micro SD cards and such up in tiers of SSD. And if that's the case, it really wouldn't matter anyway, because a lot of people are probably going to buy their stuff digitally. And if you're getting those types of read speeds anyhow, most people aren't going to care. Like they're not going to care. But yeah, we're talking about cart storage for their physical carts. I'm thinking 128 is on the table, mostly for third parties, because Nintendo knows how to get most of their stuff down within 32 gigabytes. So for third parties, those carts probably will be available. Yeah, you're right on that. You're right on that. If they leverage a cheaper cost to make games for Switch 2, could see a true emergence of new AAA gaming. Yeah, but that's if they do it. That's if they do it. And a lot of them, I don't know why they go the route of building for the most expensive platforms first. Even if I was in game development, myself, and I'm trying to make games, I'm going the route of the cheapest option first, just simply because that saves me money. If you could do good with the cheapest option, you can move your stuff everywhere else afterwards. I don't know why they work from the most expensive option backwards, because that costs you more money. That costs you way more money. But that, again, I'm not the one in the decision making position, so it's out of my hands. Brownie, that memory bus thing that they with the I keep forgetting the name of it. It was someone told me, and I keep forgetting the name of it. Let me look it up real quick. Because I keep forgetting the name of it. I know it's not SDXC, is SDUC. What is it? What's the U stand for again? Because it covers 2 terabytes up to 128 terabytes of data. I'm trying to, where's the name for it? But that's what because current Switch does up to SDXC, and that covers up to 2 terabytes of data. What is the U? Ultra. Okay. I could have guessed that, but I was still looking around. So secure digital ultra capacity. But hey. Hey, Triple M. I'm not disappointed in not being able to see graphical updates, because they showed off Mario Kart. Like Mario Kart is like their baseline. If anything, I'm disappointed by the fact that the trailer didn't really give us a whole lot of information. You could glean some information from certain things, but you don't really know for sure. That's about my only disappointment when it comes down to that trailer. Otherwise, I think it was a good way to say, hey, shut up. Here's when you're going to get more information. That's a easy way to do it. Oh yeah, I know for a fact it wasn't footage being run on that console, but still, it's just, hey, they're just showing off Mario Kart, saying, hey, Mario Kart will work. So you don't lose your progress in Mario Kart 8. You don't lose your progress in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You're just going to bring it right on over. That's a deep cut for Digital Foundry. Mario Kart not going to be 59. Look, 59.9 frames per second, sir. Get it right. 59.9 frames per second. like that one frame is that 1/10 of a frame is going to visually disturb the whole scene for anyone. I'm pretty sure most games that hit that benchmark are going to be 59.94 frames, like everything in that realm. But people want to act like it's the most major of deals to lose 600ths of a frame. Like, hey, for data, it's a big deal, but for what you see, no, it is not. It is not a big deal. I wish that they would do that, Trinell. I really wish they bring that function back, and I hope they do. The only problem is now we're dealing more with people crossing their profiles with each other. And if you don't have a way to save that data, you could lose it. Now, if they set it up so that if you do some sort of crossplay function with one cartridge and someone doesn't have a game, but it makes like an extra data thing on their memory where you can then take that extra data, and if they get that game, it applies it to the game for them, that would be great. It just depends on what they do with it. And I can think of these ideas, but I'm not the one in the chair making those decisions. I'm not the one looking at what the hardware does. I'm not the one creating what the software does. I'm just the person that can think of the different ideas that would be really cool. Yeah, they gave what people were begging for. They gave everything that people were begging for. That's it. They gave people what they were asking for. That's all that trailer was. That's all that trailer was. It was just to give you, hey, here's the name. This is what it's going to look like. And this is something that we're going to make sure you know is coming. We're going to give you a date that we're going to give you far more information. And here you go. Shut up. That's what that was. Oh yeah, I know DS Download Play was a thing done on the software side, but the hardware still has to be capable of doing it. That's all. Yes, J Biggs. I am the game idea guy. I am the game idea guy. That don't mean jack squat in the game industry. I mean, for most it doesn't. I mean, Capcom probably means something. It probably means a lot for Capcom, but look, even if Nintendo didn't give it to you, you know, third party controller makers are running to do that right now. They are rushing to get those RGB LEDs on the bases of those sticks. You know that's going to be one of the first third party things that gets dropped. Yeah, Donkey Kong's new design. I mean, that might change though. Because character changes happen with different hardware changes. So that may change. It probably more than likely it'll be able to. I'm pretty sure the current Switch could. I just think that it wasn't developed with that console in mind, so they didn't even think about putting it on there. But I'm pretty sure it could, since it's going to be in the same engine as Monster Hunter Rise. It's the same engine. It's not being changed. Yeah, 12 feet. It was lackluster, but it was lackluster for the reason that that's what everybody was asking for. If that was really Nintendo going ahead and reacting to what people were asking for, then that's what they gave them. They gave everybody what they asking for. That's exactly what happened with the Switch. They gave people what they asked for. And some people complained about it. Others accepted it. But they gave people what they asked for. Trinell, that's wholly up to the third party developers. That's up to them. I know the Japanese developers are on board. I highly doubt they are not ready to jump on this machine. I mean the matte finish is good looking to me. I'm just kind of wondering, are they gonna allow you to change out the face and back panels? Because I think that was an idea for the original Switch that they just had to sideline. I'm kind of wondering if they're going to do that with this one, because it looks like you can. Because if you looked at that trailer, you can see some screws near the ports near the ports. So I'm thinking that the panels, the faceplate and the backplate can at least come off, or at least the faceplate, where you can change them out. Maybe I'm wrong, but I saw the screws sitting there. I was like, why do they have screws? That's an intentional thing that was sitting there. So there's a potential chance that would be nice for them to be able to do. I would too. I definitely would too. I actually got to check those city dates, because I think there was one in DC. And if there is one in DC, I'm probably going to be there, because I'm not going to miss out on the chance to be part of the thing this time. Last time I was just not able to get anywhere. This time I should be able to. So if it's happening in DC, which I think there is one, I'm probably going to be there. I don't know if I'll be able to get in, because I know it's going to be a jacked line, but I'm probably going to be there. The answer to that one is simple, because you can still use them sideways as separate controllers. That's the answer to that one is simple. So they gotta have that D-pad be buttons instead of like an actual D-pad. Oh, that's bull. Maybe they'll add more cities. We'll see. Because it kind of sucks that they would only pick those 3 areas. You thought you was going to show up at 9 a.m. and just get in? yeah, they're going to be crowded. There's plenty of people that have, like, especially when the first Switch launched, were using them that way. That's something that's, and plus they're making them bigger. So it'll probably be easier to function with them that way. Again, it's just coming down to who uses them. It's the only console currently coming out where you have 2 controllers off the bat. So, and with increased size, that should make it a little bit more comfortable for people. And now all the third-party companies can start revealing their handles for you to be able to hold them like a normal controller. So again, it comes down to being able to use the functions the way they're designed to be used. Oh, no, Trinell. No, Trinell. No. No. Gosh. Bruh, no. That's you try to have people fighting in these streets. You are trying to have people fighting in the streets. Oh, there's already more dates in cities on the site. Yeah, I'll check it out later then. I'll try. Oh, no, Brownie. At this point, people can start revealing that stuff because they've shown the form factor. So people can start revealing that stuff if they are officially with Nintendo, as long as they're not under like any sort of special embargo. So they should be able to. It's blurry because I'm still in the middle of cleaning up stuff. So I'm not going to leave it. I'm not going to have it be you're not going to see all the mess. Oh man. Oh, that's what you talking about. What Trinell said. Yeah, no. They got away with it for Breath of the Wild because everybody was so disappointed based on the follow up, everything that was going on with the Wii U. They can't do that now. You got too many games. You got too many games just sitting in the wait to be able to do that now. Mm-mm. Oh man, but it does make me wonder what else they're planning. I'm kind of interested in seeing. Hopefully, we'll get more information on the hardware before that date. If not, I'm not gonna lose my mind over it. But hopefully they will reveal a little bit more. Just have everything ready to go. But it also depends on what they have set up for with their third party partners. So that's another thing that makes a difference. It's another thing that's kind of important to keep in mind. Oh yeah, definitely more OG Switch games are coming out. There's more games already. Like we already know there's still more games coming out for just that console alone. I'm kind of wondering though if the theory I had before where they may have two versions of a game on the same cart. Oh, you and me both, Trip. We will both be eating crow on that because I'm still thinking that that's a possibility because we don't know the functions of that daggone. We have no functions for what that dock does, and I doubt it just transfers gameplay. I don't think anything of it yet because that doesn't look like it was. I don't think anything of it yet because there's nothing shown really other than it's just Mario Kart. I just know it's going to be fun. That's it. That's it. That's all I know. Oh yeah, potentially, but that again, that's going to come down if they start including dual screen functions. If they can implement dual screen functionality, that would be a game changer because of the fact that it's not forced, but you have the option to use it. That would change a lot of things up. But going back to the theory I've had, if the theory I have proves true and they have a way to have two versions of a game on the same cart, again, it's going to come down to how the memory is split. But if you have it so that if they have it so that in your OG Switch, it activates the Switch version of the game, but in the Switch 2, it activates the Switch 2 version of the game. And really, it just comes down to how the assets are going to be presented. That would be interesting. If it can, that would be cool. But it would also have to have that function with the Switch 2 as well. So again, that it depends on what's inside that dock. That's why I feel like this trailer didn't really say much. That's why I feel like this trailer didn't say anything at all. So it's really just again, here's the name, here's the date. You'll get more information. Shut up about it. that's what that trailer was. Again, because people said that there was a hardware reveal coming. This really isn't a hardware reveal. This is again, here's what you wanted to see. Here's what you were begging us for. That's what that felt like. As far as not showing Metroid Prime 4 with it, it's because Metroid isn't as popular of a franchise. Mario Kart is far more popular. That was more than likely why that choice was made. For everybody, for as much as I love Metroid, for as much as us that play Metroid love that franchise, we are still niche in the Nintendo community. Mario Kart is far more popular, far easier to show people that, hey, another popular game that you like is going to come out here. That's what that decision was made for. Uh, hmm. Well, let's not hinge our bets on any Zelda remakes just yet. I mean, I'm pretty sure something's going to happen with Zelda as far as getting some of the older games out, but let's not hinge anything on that just yet. As far as we know, there is also a 3D Mario that was in the works, so uh, we'll see what that turns into. But again, I'm not even going to speculate on the games and stuff right now. I just know, hey, there's a new Switch coming. that's going to be better than the current one. And we're going to be able to see some improvements on games and stuff like that, and hopefully more fun and interesting games. That's it. That's a tall order to just assume that they're gonna give all that stuff 12 feet. Because that might not happen. Well, currently, Trinell, everybody's guess that the new gimmick was the mouse-like implementation for the controller. And if that's the case, that would be the new gimmick. Again, that brings more people the potential chance to be playing. That potentially brings more people from the idea of playing on PC over the console. That's probably what that's for. And also for games that will have a lot of customization options in them, say like Super Mario Maker 3, for instance, or if they're going to ever go the route of making a full-on Zelda game maker, they'll be, or even a game maker, game builder studio, game builder garage. They could do a second game builder garage that could use that. It's all going to come down to what's implemented. I'm thinking if any games had cloud versions on the Switch and you bought them, they probably will have a real download for the Switch too. That should be the idea. Like if you bought them as cloud versions on the Switch, you should be able to have them as downloads for the Switch too. Yeah, I'm still hoping. I mean, the Master Chief Collection, based on file sizes, it should be able to be condensed down to a cartridge and not have a whole lot of stuff lost. That just depends on if anybody is going to do the work to actually, condense the file size. But that would, again, that's up to Nintendo and Microsoft at that point. I have no idea what they're doing. I mean, yeah, you could have more real-time strategy games on the Switch too, but there's already a bunch of real-time strategy games on the Switch. So, again, what are they doing? I want to see more gimmicked controllers. I actually want to see the Virtual On series come to this thing and Sega do a gimmicked controller insert for the Joy-Cons that lets you play with it like the Virtual On controller from the arcade machines. That's something I really want to see, but that's a whole different thing. Yeah, Master Chief Collection could have been on a regular Switch. Ray, I can't determine that. That's between Rockstar and Nintendo. Well, Take-Two and Nintendo at this point. If it is, it is. If it's not, okay, well, whatever. You don't know what Virtual On is? Oh my gosh, Brownie. Virtual On? There's got to be a trailer somewhere that just kind of sums up the series. Let me see if I can find a decent one. And it's Virtual On. I just need to find a trailer. Okay, this is for Virtual On for Xbox 360. It's an old trailer, but I'm going to show. If I can get past this daggone commercial. Game. Well, I'm pretty sure you've seen this before. This is just one game out of the series. And I think I have gameplay of Ariel Tangram on my channel somewhere.
Get ready.
It's fun. Especially when you get into the intricacies of it. Yeah, this is a Sega game. One of the games that they really haven't put a whole lot of time into. But I think there's I want to say it's 4 or 5 games in the series. It started out on the Sega Saturn. Then there was a Dreamcast game. And that game got ported to Xbox 360. There were a couple other ones. I would love to see this come back. And I really want this to get like a gimmick controller, because when it came out on the Saturn, they had a special twin stick controller that lets you control the mech. I want that, because those things were so expensive and so hard to find. I'm not going to sit there and keep playing that though, because that's I just wanted to show you kind of the idea of what it looks like. Ariel Tengram was the Dreamcast version, the Dreamcast game for Virtual On. It was the second game in the series, if I remember right. Because the first one came out on the Sega Saturn, then that one came out. Then there were a few more games, and I know the one from the Dreamcast got ported to 360 too. That's something I would love to see that come back. I really want to see the full collection for that series get released, because those games are also released in arcades. So even if they don't use the Sega Saturn versions, they could use the arcade versions based off AM2's engine. And it's not like they haven't gone back and used AM2's engines to re-release Virtual Fighter 2 and Fighting Vipers and stuff like that. So I would love to see that happen. I mean, if I can get it day one, sure. If not, no big deal to me. I'd catch it in a year or two after. I'm not usually a day one console purchaser anyway. I normally, mine is normally like a year or two afterwards. Switch I ended up getting way later than expected, but that's because life changes happened that prevented me from just being able to buy new hardware. But yeah. If I get it, I get it. I'm not going to make a big deal out of being able to get it. If I can, I can. If not, no skin off my teeth. So I'm not going to worry too much about it like that. I will get it if there's a chance for me to get it. If I can catch a pre-order and I got the money to get it at the time, I'll catch it. If not, no big deal. not a big deal. So it just depends on what's happening, because I have a feeling those pre-orders are going to sell out fast. Those once those pre-orders go up, that's it. You go ahead, people waiting on the line to get them things. And that's it's going to get to that point. So you might see people not being able to get these things for a year to 6 months to a year just to be able to get them in at regular intervals of retail. Oh, you talking about the infrared underneath the Joy-Cons? It does seem to me like those are supposed to be mouse trackers. That doesn't necessarily mean that's the only way that they can be used either, because people do forget that Nintendo used infrared on the Wii for pointing and aiming. So they could be used they could have multiple uses. So we don't know everything about this thing physically. We don't know if there's hardware inside that dock. We don't know how everything's going to work. There's just a lot of assumptions. I didn't put up a guess for their release date, but I'm figuring it's probably going to be just because tax time is an easy time to get people to get new stuff. If it's not, I don't think it's going to be April 2nd, because that's when they're going to have all that information revealed. But probably, let's see. Nintendo likes to release stuff on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And April 2nd is a Wednesday. So probably, I'd say they probably give us that reveal trailer, and then give us 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So somewhere between the 21st and the 25th of April would be my immediate guess. Yeah, that's why I said when you looked at the trailer, it was like both of them. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. But that also showed that they could make a lot of money in that time frame too. So I don't know if they're going to wait till holiday for it. They might, but I don't think they're going to wait until holiday for it. Oh yeah, you're right. March. I mean, early May isn't a bad guess either, because that's still within that time frame. Well, Trinell, that would be a little bit mean because April Fool's is April 1st. You asking the wrong person on that one. I don't care about how powerful it will be. I care about if the games are going to be fun and functional. If I can play the games and I can have fun with them, that's all I care about. Power argument loses with me because you have games on the PS4 and Xbox Series and PS5 Pro. I meant PS5, Xbox Series, and PS5 Pro right now that can't maintain 60 frames per second. Power means nothing if the developers don't know how to use the hardware. Because at that point, you're just bloating up the consoles with data that is slowing down your game or potentially causing you issues where you can't change the frame rate to your desired frame rate, or you keep having drops in your frame rate in a major way. So, there have been console releases during the summer before. There have been. Usually it's been handheld though, but I mean, you could consider the Switch to a handheld because it is hybrid like the Switch. So, I mean, again, it really depends on what they're doing. It really comes down to whatever they're going to do with it. What's up, Jazzy? And then look, I wasn't even trying to be on this this live long, but having a conversation with y'all has just made me keep it going. I mean, look, PS5 Pro is itself a waste. Saturn was released technically right before summer. It was released in May of the first E3 in 1995. It was a rush release too. Because I've had people jump down my throat because of having incorrect information on my Sega Saturn What If discussion that I have to redo. And I went and did my research and got all the correct information. I still have to put that discussion out there. But yeah, Sega Saturn was technically in the US released right before summer. Not during summer, right before it. Oh man. Oh man, people had look, I got looking at those comments. I was like, damn, I really did mess up. Cause I was just going off of information I had heard. And I didn't see anything after that confirmed anything different. You got cookies all over your hands. Where did I put the wipes? 1 second. Oh, mother. Sorry, my camera decided to go out. Let me fix that. Oh, crap. Let me fix my camera. I went to go back up and it just, as soon as I sat down, it went off. All right, give me a second to fix that. That's funny. That's like, nah, you can't be on camera right now. It was like as soon as I sat down, it shut off. Go ahead, play with your toys, little girl. You're good. You can go play with your toys. It's okay. Go play with your toys. All right. Should be fixed now. There we go. Yeah, Pokemon Company don't really care about they don't care about any leaks. They're just like whatever happens, happens. You still gonna buy the games. We don't care. Now, if they could get Sega Saturn games on NSO with how notoriously difficult that console is to emulate, I will be a lifelong member of NSO at that point. There's no turning me away from it. I will be a lifelong member of NSO at that point. Actually, I've been wanting them to make a new Mario Paint game. I've been wanting them to make a new one. Based around what they had already done, I've been wanting them to make a new one. I would love them to, especially if they end up actually implementing keyboard functionality and stuff too, because there's a chance that I'm pretty sure the Switch has keyboard functionality if you plug one into the USB ports inside the dock. Brownie, Art Academy probably going to happen anyway. Why you get mad at people for wanting to use Art Academy? they just open up the room. They open up room for a lot of stuff. That does make me wonder. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to use your Joy-Cons with the new Switch. With the Switch 2. I just wonder how they're going to work with it. That means anybody trading in their old, you're going to see a bunch of used Switches. You're going to see a bunch of used Switches. Once people know that you can use these with the new one, you're going to see a bunch of used Switches without these. You're just going to see the tablets being sold online for like $100 for people to go buy. The button underneath the home button. I remember that there was supposed to be like a C button or something. It was supposed to be, people were saying it's supposed to be chat, but it could also mean community in general, which means you could have community-based functions. Like stuff like Miiverse was, because Miiverse was a community-based function. But it's going to depend on it. There's a potential chance that it can happen. It's going to come down to, because there are some games that are just likely not to get that type of treatment, and they'll just put them, they would be on there as games for people to be able to play and archive. It's just not going to be like the way it worked before, more than likely. You'll probably just get a bunch of games that weren't as popular, like something like Geist might end up on NSO for GameCube if they do it. Oh yeah, there's no way for them to connect physically unless Nintendo releases adapters that go along with the old Joy-Cons to be able to fit them onto the new Switch, onto the Switch 2. But there's a chance that could happen. I'm planning on getting it. I'm planning on getting Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Switch, because I never got to finish the first game, and then when I was trying to do my playthrough again, my data got deleted by my child here, and that made me upset because I was a good distance into that game, and I wasn't that far from getting my scale, and then kid turns on my Wii, deletes my data, wipes my stuff out, and I'm like, how could you? Like, how could you do this to me? So I'll probably get the Xenoblade Chronicles X when it comes for the Switch. I'd always kept saying how Monolith kept saying it was too expensive to go ahead and port that game earlier on. Probably because Nintendo wasn't going to give them the money to do it. Nintendo wasn't going to give them the money to do it at first, but they proved themselves really, really well for Nintendo, which is why they got bought up and they got the money to port Xenoblade Chronicles X. And I'm expecting that there's going to be a Chronicles X2 coming because there's no way in the world that they went through the trouble of building up extra information for that story to not have a follow-up. I have a feeling there's a follow-up. Yes, all right. That happened quite a while ago. Happened while I wasn't home. So there was no way I could prevent it. There was no way I could prevent it. So it was like, what you gonna do? I lost a lot of game data when that happened because child was playing with my Wii U gamepad and got into the settings and wiped all of my game data. Well, not all of it. Wiped the drive I have plugged into the Wii U. I might still even go back and play the old version just because I like how the setup is with the gamepad. But there's a whole other thing to talk about. Xenogears? I don't know if Xenogears would be on in a NSO. Oh yeah, they used a lot of concepts from Mario Paint and Mario Maker, but they've reused concepts before in a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was like Xenogears is PlayStation. It was on Sony. That was never on Nintendo at all. This was Xenogears, and then Xenosaga was, I think, what was it, Xbox? Or was it PS2? Xenosaga was PS, but no, there's Xenosaga on Xbox too. Xenosaga was also on Xbox. It got ported to 360, but I don't remember that ever being on GameCube or Nintendo at all. Yeah, I know Square owns Xenogears. They might remake the game, but there's not going to be like an NSO for it. That's what I was saying. They might actually remake that game. No, Xenosaga's on it was on a 360. I have the digital copy of that. I have it because I can play it on my Xbox One. So Xenosaga 1 and 2 are on Xbox. They just ended up ported later. I thought Namco Bandai had Xenosaga. Oh yeah, you're right. Monolith worked with too many daggone different teams with the Xeno name. That's a that's a whole lot of stuff. See, this is where people get upset with thinking that you can just pluck any game and just bring it back, but forget that licensing is a major problem when it comes down to that. I really hope they get the licensing figured out so that Xenosaga and Xenogears and Xenoblade can all be on the same platform. Just have them all on the same platform. So you can start from one all the way up to the rest. Oh, okay. I didn't know about that. That is something wild. Yeah, Namco Bandai is owner for Xenosaga. This ownership is just sitting under too many. The whole label of this whole thing is just sitting under too many different too many different companies. They got Cosmos and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 because Cosmos is owned by Bandai Namco, and Bandai Namco was working with Nintendo on a lot of stuff. So it was probably really easy to just ask for permission to get her and Telos into the game. Probably wasn't even that big of a stretch. And on top of that, Cosmos and Telos were both in Project Cross Zone. So I don't think that was a hard ask, to be honest. Yeah, I know licenses don't transfer, but if you're working with a company, it's easy to say, "Hey, can we drum up a contract where we can use these characters for this?" That's the same reason that you're not likely to see Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha or the Street Fighter EX series ever get moved over to other platforms or remade, because Capcom would still have to get permission from damn, I was just thinking of the name. You know what? Look, I'm gonna just open my Steam library. I'm just open my Steam library and look at Fighting EX Lair. Actually, why would I do all that? We have this right. Akira, that's who it was. I'm sitting here like, gosh, I knew who it was. Uh, 12 feet. No, I don't have the DuckStation PS1 emulator. I do have the PSX2 one, PCSX2, to play my PS2 games, because my actual PS2 is boxed up somewhere. But yeah, I do have that. And also because it's not all that easy to get my PS3 to play all of my PS2 games, because some of them just don't work. And the ones that do work take a lot of freaking time to get to work. So, but you know, I don't have the DuckStation PS1 emulator at all. Because I can play all my PS1 games on my PS3 if I really want to. You gonna chill out for 2 seconds? Calm down. Calm down, Greedy. They just put Cosmos on the streets. At least they put her on Nintendo streets where she gonna get treated well. That's a horrible way to say it. Oh man. Ooh, damn. Y'all got me talking. I was not planning to be on here for an hour talking. we didn't went way away from the subject of the reveal of the Switch 2 and everything. Don't you hate it when you're at work and get interrupted by work? If only. I mean, there is a job that allows you to do that. That is a job. No, today I really don't have a whole lot of stuff to do. I just wasn't planning on being. You still got chocolate on your mouth. Let me. Didn't even see it until you just popped up on. Let me get that. Let me get it. Clean your mouth right there, since you want to be on the screen. This is probably going to be the most fun we're going to be able to have with the Switch 2 discourse, because after it gets fully revealed and all the hardware specs are officially revealed, people are going to start going on about how it's not capable of doing certain things. And then when they get proven wrong, they're going to sit there and say, well, it's not doing it the way I wanted it to be done. Like, but that's not what you said at first. Like, look, yeah, you got a good hour and 10 minutes. No, not now. You got a good 2 hours and 10 minutes that you had to do anything work related while being at work. So you should be happy you got that extended break. Now, good question is what, because since we're talking about games anyway, what games do you want to see specifically for Switch 2? Oh yeah, Switch 2 Pro rumors. Look, I keep saying if they're going to do a Pro, it's going to be in the dock. That's what probably could have happened with the Switch. Everybody ran with the idea that because the Switch Pro never released, Nintendo just avoided the idea. No, they were just making a new console. Same thing. They were just making a new console. Oh yeah, I definitely want an F-Zero game specifically for Switch. I definitely want an F-Zero game specifically for Switch too. I would love to see them. I would love to see them go ahead and take the F-Zero GX and AX tracks and just put them all together in one game. Put them all in one game. Damn, Ray. We ain't even a full day out and you already asking that question. We ain't even a full day out and you already hit me with that. Shoot, we ain't even a few hours. We just barely a few hours out. Street Fighter, Resident Evil Remake 2, 3, 4, Resident Evil 7, and Village. Yeah, I could see one of those. Street Fighter 6 could be on the actual Switch. Street Fighter 6 could have been on the Switch. For as much as people want to say it couldn't be, like it's running in the same engine. It's running in the same engine. You just scale it down. No, it's not going to look as pretty as the other ones, but you just scale it down. It's plausible to be done. Just like everybody thinking that Final Fantasy Remake and Rebirth can't be on the Switch when you have Final Fantasy VII, whatever the game that has Zack in it. It's the exact same engine. It's just scaled down for the platform it's on. Oh man. Yeah, Crisis Core. Crisis Core is the one I was thinking of. Like that's the same. You're literally looking at the same gameplay engine. It's just operating on a machine that's smaller and more compact. I'm a little ticked off that Tekken 7 never actually happened on the Switch. That's one of the ones that should have been. That should definitely happen. That, Dead or Alive, and we should have got a Virtual Fighter. I was like, y'all ain't doing nothing with these things. You just got them sitting there. Like, y'all ain't even attempting to do it. Golden Sun, yeah, I would actually want to get into Golden Sun. I've only really played the first one, and I didn't even play that far into it because I was playing somebody else's game. Oh, yeah, I definitely want to see them rectify that mistake. Fix that issue. There ain't no reason that either Kingdom Hearts, either remix for Kingdom Hearts should have been cloud. Neither one of them should have been cloud. Those games were running on a PS3. They were playable on a PS3. Ain't no reason. I don't know if that's going to happen. I really don't know if that one's going to happen. Just simply because when Square Enix tried to redo it, they messed up on it twice on the DS and the more recent PC one that they did. Like, there's no reason that Resident Evil 2 Remake 2 and 3, especially being that they came out before Monster Hunter Rise, and Monster Hunter Rise was on a more advanced version of the same engine. There's no reason that those games couldn't have been put on physical carts and scaled for the Switch. They could have put them. Tobal, see, I want Tobal 1 and 2 to be remade and put it, well, not necessarily remade, but remastered and put out again too. They get those and then do a third game. I'm all for it. I am all for it. There's so many games and so much stuff that's just sitting around that hasn't been put out. Look, why you gotta do Mega Man X Dive like that, Brownie? Why you gotta do Mega Man X Dive like that? And they did an offline version of the game that's not actually a gacha at this point because you can earn the characters in the game. still would have been better to actually be able to play with the characters as they actually are versus virtual versions of them that basically are just bodies and everybody acts and feels the same. That would have been nice. Still want them to go back and make Mega Man Legends 3. But did you play it as the online version only, or did you play it as the offline version? Because playing it offline, playing the offline version of Rockman X Dive or Mega Man X Dive is far better than how it felt to play the online version. Because you're not sitting there struggling to try to pay into something or wait to earn enough points based on how sparse they had it for the online version. The offline version, I think I played the online version, I played for like 5 hours versus playing 5 hours into the offline version of it. The offline version, I think it should be around 20 something bucks about now. But playing the offline version of it, you can actually get characters and items far faster than it was in the Rockman X Dive online version, which is why I'm surprised they didn't even put that on the Switch. Like, you would think this would be the platform to put it on since Mega Man originally got big on Nintendo. Oh, I'm waiting for them to do those too. Shoot, I got the first 3. I got the remastered pack for the first 3. I think you got a Steam account, right, Brownie? I should be able to let you, if I link to your Steam account, you should be able to if I remember correctly, you should be able to play it off mine. That way you don't have to pay for it first because I have it. Yeah, and I was right about my hours. I played 5 hours into both of them, and I got far more stuff than playing in the offline version of the game. I actually got further into the game too for the same time frame. I would like for them to do a new Castlevania. Part of me still doesn't trust them with it though. That's the problem. I think when they went the God of War route with Castlevania, they severely screwed up the reputation of the series. When they were doing the 2D action games and they stayed more in line with what Bloodstain became, or the PS2 Castlevanias that were more like Devil May Cry, they were doing good. Phone, hold on, wife call. Oh gosh. Just got the phone call from my wife. Little girl, come here. Come on. You want to come sit with me? And yeah, Kojima himself ruined the view of Castlevania. Completely ruined it. He gave that game such a horrible reputation by trying to go the route of copying God of War. Horrible. And yes, I completely agree. I actually got to finish Curse of the Moon 2. I think I started playing that game, got about halfway through it and stopped. I crushed the first one. I beat that game every which way you could beat it. Then the second one I started playing, and I was like, oh, this is fun. This is better than the first one. And I got about halfway through it, and I think I stopped. I got to go back into that. Stella Buns. Stella Buns. Why you... Stella Buns. That's always going to be that game's nickname with us. But I really want to see these games get put out. I want to see everybody just start hamming it up, throwing every game that they can on this platform instead of just letting this stuff waste away. I mean, look, he might still be salty about how we got on him about that thing with the California fires. Like, and if he is, that's on him. Like, what he said shouldn't have been said. I don't care if you were asking that question in serious context or not. It shouldn't have come up because that's insensitive to what's going on. Oh, no, do I still have that one? I don't remember. I used to have Tekken 4 for PS2. I love that game. I love that game. I don't think I still have it. I would love to see them do a full-on Tekken collection. They might as well. Just do a full collection of all the mainline games so that people who haven't had the chance to experience them can play those games from beginning through to current. I don't know why they won't do that. Like that would be a money maker, and it wouldn't even cost them that much to do it. The Kojima Konami breakup had more to do with Kojima spending too much money. He was too expensive. That's why Konami dropped him the way they did. They wouldn't have cared if he wasn't spending so much money because his games did make money, but he was spending so much out, it was costing them a high amount, which is why they didn't want him to keep working. They didn't want to keep funding him. They're making a remake of Faces of Evil. Might as well get. They might as well go ahead and throw Hotel Mario in there too. Nah, that comment needed to be hidden, but no, he wasn't banned. He was just told, no, you can't do that. Like that's. Just think if somebody comes in who doesn't know what's going on and they see that comment immediately and nobody responds to it, nobody reacts to it, nobody says anything. That makes us look bad if we don't jump on that when it happens. We really don't. And like I can't have that I can't have that type of energy be put on anything I'm talking about. Like that's just at that point, that was far too insensitive to the situation that was going on, especially with how it is currently. So yeah, I don't know how tying Nintendo into that made any sense. It just didn't at the time. Ugh. Look at me streaming for an hour, almost an hour and a half. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Mostly because I do want to record some video stuff today. And on top of that, I've got some other stuff I'm working on. I put that tweet out when I said that if the stuff that I'm working on gets to be completed this year, y'all gonna start thinking I'm unhinged. I meant it. I really meant it. So hopefully I'll be able to get that out like by summer is what my plan is. I'm hopefully getting that out by summer. Because you'll all see a book about a supervillain and it's going to be wild. And I'm in the middle of writing it now. So, but that's it. Also, tomorrow, just so if anybody's interested, I'm going to have another Pick Your Poison. That'll be tomorrow. Be tomorrow morning. It's either tomorrow morning or afternoon. I haven't uploaded it yet. So just so you know, if anybody's interested in watching that. Otherwise, thank you guys for joining in, for chatting it up with me and how we got off subject, off topic. It was enjoyable. And I hope that you all come back the next time I drop one, because I'm going to be live streaming more. I keep saying I'm going to, so I'm going to be live streaming more. Otherwise, thank you and peace out, folks. I hope y'all all have a good day and enjoy yourselves.